You just paid $400 for a robot vacuum. Maybe $600. Maybe more. And somewhere in a factory in Shenzhen, a guy is putting the exact same chassis into a box that costs $180 less, with a different logo on it. Both boxes are going to Best Buy. Both are going to sit on the same shelf. Same motor, same sensors, same navigation chip. Different story on the packaging. This isn't a theory. This is how the robot vacuum industry actually works, and it goes deeper than most people realize. 6 brands, 6 different promises, and a supply chain that quietly connects all of them in ways the marketing budgets would very much prefer you never found out. Number 1, Bissell. Bissell has been in American homes for over 140 years. Carpet sweepers, upright vacuums, steam mops, the kind of brand that gets passed down alongside furniture and recipes. Grandma had one. Your mom had one. When Bissell entered the robot vacuum market with the Spinwave line, that generational trust traveled with the logo. The name did the selling before anyone opened the box. Here's the problem. The Spinwave robot vacuum, their primary entry into the category, runs 1,500 pascals of suction. In 2026, that number isn't a specification. It's an admission. Budget competitors at the same price point are running 8,000 to 18,000 pascals. The Spinwave tops out at 1,500. That's not a performance gap. That's a different decade. The navigation is bump and turn in a market that moved to LiDAR years ago. No room mapping. No persistent floor plans. No virtual barriers you can draw around the dog's water bowl or the charging cables behind her desk. The mopping system uses spinning pads, which sounds functional until you realize every serious competitor at that price range is running pressurized roller mops with hot water self-washing stations that clean themselves between passes. And here's what makes the Bissell case specifically uncomfortable. The Spinwave hardware is not a Bissell engineering achievement. It's a licensed OEM platform sourced from Chinese manufacturing. A dated chassis that was already mid-tier when it launched, sold at a price that assumes you trust the name more than you'll research the specs. That trust is real. It was earned over a century of floor care products that genuinely delivered. But robot vacuums aren't carpet sweepers. The category moves fast, the hardware gaps are enormous, and brand loyalty in this space costs you in a way it never did when you were buying a dust bag refill. Bissell didn't build a robot vacuum for your floor. They built a price point for their portfolio. And the difference between those two things is sitting in your dustbin right now, half empty after a run that left visible debris in the corners. The price is a Bissell decision. The hardware inside is not a Bissell innovation. Those two facts together are what you actually paid for. Number 2, Yiti. Yiti markets itself as an independent brand. Clean logo. Its own website. Its own product lineup with its own names. If you land on their Amazon page without context, nothing immediately signals what's actually going on. What's actually going on? Yiti was founded by Ecovacs. Not acquired. Not partnered with. Built by. Created from scratch by the same company that makes the Debit line. Specifically to occupy a lower price tier in the same market its parent already dominates. The app gives it away immediately. The Yiti app and the Ecovacs app run nearly identical interfaces. Same room mapping logic, same scheduling architecture, same virtual barrier system, because they were built by the same engineering team. The hardware comparison is equally direct. The Yiti M14 Plus, 18,000 pascal suction, hot water self-washing dock, self-emptying station. The Ecovacs Debit X series, same core cleaning architecture, $200 to $400 more at comparable spec levels. Ecovacs built Yiti so that no matter where you land on the price spectrum, whether you buy the premium Debit or the budget-find Yiti, the money goes to the same place. The competitor you thought you were choosing over Ecovacs is Ecovacs. The next brand takes the same playbook and runs it with considerably less transparency. Number 3, Mova. Mova arrived at CES 2025 as a new North American entrant. Premium specs, competitive pricing. Review sites picked it up fast. Vacuum Wars gave the P10 Pro Ultra their best value pick within weeks of testing. What the product pages don't lead with. Mova is a sub-brand of Dream. Dream currently holds the #1 spot on the Vacuum Wars Top 20 with a score of 4.08, the highest-rated robot in a database of over 150 tested models. Mova is Dream's way of selling you a version of that ceiling at a lower price, while keeping the flagship name clean for buyers willing to pay for prestige. The independent lab numbers are hard to ignore. Mova Z60 Ultra Roller versus Dream Aqua 10 Ultra Roller. Same parent company, different price point. Suction output. Mova measured 0.76 kilopascals. Dream measured 0.74 kilopascals. The cheaper sub-brand measured higher than its premium parent. Airflow difference, 1 CFM. Carpet deep cleaning, 1 percentage point apart. The list price gap between comparable models, around $400. That $400 is not buying you better hardware. It's buying you the Dream name, and everything their marketing budget spent convincing you that name means something Mova's doesn't. Both products came from the same engineering team. Both clean your floors to within a percentage point of each other. One costs $400 more because of the font on the front of the box. Number 4, Eufy. Eufy positions itself as the value play. Not cheap value. Their flagship S2, released in early 2026, boasts 30,000 pascals of suction and a full hot wash dock system. Specs that genuinely compete with robots costing several $100s more. Clean packaging. Aggressive pricing. The kind of product that makes you feel smart for finding it. Here's what the product page doesn't mention. The manufacturer building Eufy's robot vacuum line is Shenzhen Paixia Robotics, the same Paixia that was assembling Roombas for iRobot before acquiring the company outright in December 2025. The same Paixia confirmed as a manufacturing partner for Shark. 3 brands, Roomba, Shark, Eufy, running through the same Shenzhen operation, landing on the same retail shelf at 3 different price points with 3 completely different brand stories attached. To be precise, these aren't identical robots with different stickers. Software differs. Dock features differ. App ecosystems differ. Paixia is a manufacturing partner, not a copy-paste operation. The robots are not clones, but the implied distance between these brands, the technological independence, the sense that you're choosing between genuinely rival companies, that distance is constructed. It lives in the marketing, not in the factory. And when the factory building your value alternative also builds the brand it's supposed to be an alternative to, the word alternative starts losing its meaning. Number 5, Shark. Shark entered robot vacuums in 2016, 14 years after Roomba had already made its name a verb. So they did what late entrants do: undercut on price, over-deliver on specs. LiDAR navigation at mid-range prices. Self-emptying docks before they were standard. The message was clear. Shark was the smarter buy. The brand for people who'd done their research. It worked. Shark Ninja became the #1 multi-function home appliance brand in America. People didn't just buy Shark. They felt good about choosing Shark, like they'd seen through something. Then came the Paixia revelation. Shark's manufacturing runs through contract partners in China, standard for the industry. But among those partners, confirmed through reporting on iRobot's December 2025 bankruptcy, is the same Paixia Robotics, now controlling the Roomba brand and assembling for Eufy. The scrappy challenger that spent nearly a decade positioning itself against Roomba was being built by Roomba's own manufacturer. The features Shark added are real. The LiDAR, the Power Detect suite, the Never Touch dock. Shark Ninja's product teams make genuine engineering decisions. This isn't a sticker swap, but the foundation underneath those features runs through the same Shenzhen ecosystem as the brand Shark spent years telling you it was better than. The gap you thought you were buying across was smaller than the commercial made it look. And it still isn't the most uncomfortable story on this list. Number 6, Roomba. This one requires a moment. Roomba didn't just build the robot vacuum category. It built the cultural idea that a robot could clean your home, and that you could trust it. The first Roomba launched in 2002. By 2004, it had sold 1 million units. By the time real competition appeared, iRobot had already spent a decade wiring Roomba into the American household vocabulary. That kind of brand equity doesn't get built with marketing. It gets built with years of people watching the thing navigate their living room and thinking something had genuinely changed. Then December 2025 happened. iRobot filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on December 14th. The Amazon acquisition that might have saved them collapsed when EU regulators blocked it in early 2024. The company spent its final 18 months bleeding cash, cutting 31% of its workforce, watching revenue fall 33% in a single quarter. Tariffs on Vietnamese manufacturing finished what the failed deal started. The buyer was Shenzhen Paixia Robotics, iRobot's own contract manufacturer. The people physically building Roombas, assembling motors, snapping chassis together, running quality checks on navigation sensors, bought the company that designed them. The brand passed from engineers who invented the category to the factory that built it. Paixia also manufactures for Shark. Paixia also manufactures for Yuffie. Those aren't separate revelations anymore. They're the same revelation seen from 3 different angles. The company that now owns the Roomba name supplies hardware to Roomba's 2 most visible competitors. Whatever distance existed between those 3 brands on a retail shelf just became very difficult to measure. So what do you actually buy? The robot vacuum market in 2026 is not competing technologies built by competing companies. It's competing brand stories built on top of a concentrated manufacturing base. The differences in software, dock features, app ecosystems, and warranty structures are real, and they matter. But the price gaps between brands were never purely about hardware. They were about perception, about the story each brand told about itself, and how much you believed it. Independent testing consistently points to Dream and Roborock at the mid to premium tier, brands that invest heavily in proprietary software and own their hardware development more directly. The Dream L50 Ultra at its current discounted price leads multiple independent rankings. Roborock's Crevo line delivers genuine LiDAR navigation with strong app ecosystems at competitive price points. On a tighter budget, the Yeti M14 Plus delivers flagship-adjacent specs at a price that reflects what the hardware actually costs when you strip the brand markup away. What to skip? Legacy premiums on brands that haven't updated their hardware to match where the category has moved. Bissell SpinWave is the clearest example. 1,500 pascals in a 15,000 pascals world, sold entirely on a name that earned its trust somewhere else. The badge on the box tells you what the marketing team decided to call it. The specs page tells you what you're actually getting. Read the specs page.